Hello. Let me have a little discussion with you about the Royal Rumble from last Saturday night as we watched the NFC Championship game go on between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Last night's Royal Rumble, in many people's eyes, was very boring, very lazy booked, very terrible, unentertaining to watch. The Rumble winners were unnecessary. They don't have any substance. It was a lackadaisical show, which had nothing but boredom. Basically, the word is boredom for the Royal Rumble last Saturday night. Meanwhile, my split decision was I loved it, but the consensus is everybody knows it was boring. But my whole opinion is I enjoyed the Rumble from start to finish. Of course, there were some matches that delivered. Obviously, the Universal and Women's Rumble. The first two matches delivered, and then the other four matches kind of died down a bit. But I didn't think they were bad, in my honest opinion. I didn't think they were bad. I thought the WWE title match worked well. The story going into it was perfect, and the story after it was perfect. So let me have a little discussion with you guys about storytelling. Storytelling within professional wrestling. Storytelling is basically when a rivalry kind of dragged on just for a little bit. Maybe dragged on, but starts with two people and his substance that's built within the rivalry. Sometimes that substance is built within work from other areas within certain matches. For instance, and this is two key examples, Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. Those two started their rivalry in 2018. It was supposed to come late with a match at Survivor Series. It was supposed to start with a match at Survivor Series, but then Becky Lynch got knocked in the face by Nia Jax, so she was taken out of it subsequently. This led to Charlotte Flair being a fixture into the match. It's then had her in the mix, adding her to the mix into WrestleMania because in TLC, Ronda cost Charlotte and Becky the SmackDown Women's Championship, leading to Asuka winning. Both had a legit gripe. Ronda was on Raw, but those two were on SmackDown. The story builds with Becky Lynch winning the Rumble, choosing Ronda as her subsequent opponent for WrestleMania 35. Charlotte, with her unfinished business, won the SmackDown Women's Championship prior to WrestleMania 35, making it a winner-take-all first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. But ended with Becky pinning Ronda Rousey, with Becky subsequently going on a long title reign. A short title reign with the SmackDown Women's title, and a year-long title reign with the Raw Women's Championship, becoming an official Raw athlete. Ronda has been off TV for 3 years since, or 2.5 years since. Fast forward to now. Ronda returns at the 2022 Royal Rumble. Obviously knowing who the champion is, and Becky's involvement within the last number of months, we know that she was going to win the Royal Rumble. Perfect choice. Because now you build the story back with Becky and Ronda Rousey. And Charlotte Flair has officially been subsequently dumped out of that story for good, because she has her own thing to do on SmackDown, most likely with either Bayley or Asuka, or maybe even a Naomi. Another example, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, a story that has built since 2015, after the Royal Rumble. But let's save all the details and talk about the now. Roman Reigns sees Brock Lesnar win the WWE Championship. He doesn't want anything to do with Brock Lesnar because Paul Heyman officially worked behind Roman's back to get the WWE title, to get Brock the WWE title, and get in the feud with Bobby Lashley. Obviously, the talk around it was Paul Heyman's involvement. Who was Paul Heyman working for? Most importantly, who was he dealing with? For a long time, it felt like it was Brock Lesnar, because he was dumped by Roman Reigns back in December. Which led to Paul Heyman returning back to Brock Lesnar at day 1. So right at the moment of day 1, Paul Heyman had Brock Lesnar's back. But then on a subsequent segment on Friday Night SmackDown, with the three actually in the ring together, Paul Heyman talked about how much he loved Roman, how much he cared for Roman, to make sure that Brock stayed away from Roman. But remember this also. Brock Lesnar became a free agent thanks to Paul Heyman's subsequent involvement due to the draft, which also allowed Brock to compete for the Universal title at Crown Jewel, which had the Uso involvement. However, Brock did not win. Roman retained, but Paul Heyman stayed neutral. Again, Paul Heyman was dumped again, which now leads to the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns gets involved. With the whole story of Roman Reigns doesn't want nothing to do with Brock Lesnar and makes sure Brock Lesnar is not involved in any sort of way. But also, a little bit of revenge. Just a tiny bit. With Paul Heyman working as a double agent. And now Brock Lesnar enters into the Royal Rumble, knowing the only way he can get his hands on Roman Reigns is by bowing in the Rumble match and eliminating everybody else that was involved to get a title match at WrestleMania and get Roman Reigns where he wants him. He could show up to SmackDown and say he wants a match, but there are other legit contenders, however. And you know that Lesnar's really not going to work another schedule like what he used to work. So now, here we are. Brock Lesnar. Honestly, my pick was AJ Styles, but then again, that is okay. Brock Lesnar, a perfect choice for the Men's Rumble winner. Ronda Rousey, a perfect choice for the Women's Rumble winner. For many of reasons. Because of the stories behind it. And there are added supplements into the Universal title picture now. Becky and Ronda says itself. WrestleMania 35, Survivor Series 2018, all built at the Royal Rumble, after the Royal Rumble in 2019. No Charlotte Flair. Meanwhile, for the Universal title, there's somebody else that has a legitimate gripe to it now. Seth freaking Rollins. Now, he was disqualified in his match. Now, he won by disqualification, which means he didn't win the title. He didn't lose clean. He didn't lose by pinfall or submission. He had the rope. When he had the rope, didn't let go. And Roman didn't let go either. It led to Roman getting disqualified. Now Roman adding another challenger to the mix. Now that Seth Rollins is involved, there's a substance dating all the way back to WrestleMania 31. Because Seth can lay claim that he's beaten both Brock and Roman when it mattered most. Seth has only lost one time to Brock Lesnar in a match, but that was a Money in the Bank cash-in. Seth has never lost to Roman Reigns. Seth has beaten Brock Lesnar on multiple occasions. Battleground, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Seth will be back. So it's not like it's going to just be Roman versus Brock. The story is so perfectly mixed. And Seth really doesn't have anything else to do at Mania. Because I think KO is going to be working a mid-card feud instead of a feud with Seth. And Seth should have heavy involvement within the main event scene because his character is still the very best within professional wrestling, the Messiah, the Joker, as now people will call him, the Joker of WWE, the Architect, the Kingslayer, the Beast Slayer. He's everything. And he's shown now that he's got the side of the crowd on his favor for multiple ways, in multiple ways than one. I 100% would not mind one bit if Seth Rollins is involved. And then make it a triple threat to finally lay waste and lay the final draw, the final straw for who is the best out of those three. Was it Seth? Was it Roman? Was it Brock? So, basically, the idea of this video is this. Sit back and just wait. Keep your mouth shut. Don't complain. And let it all play out. Because WWE is working superb genius effect in this absolute sensational build to the biggest WrestleMania there has been quite a long time. Now also I'm doing this unscripted, so I'm going to sound like I'm rumbling, or not rumbling, I am like rambling on for so long, but doing this unscripted, no words in front of me. In fact, yeah, laptop is blank. I'm just using this to stand up right now. I mean, there's nothing. This is nothing. I'm basically saying what's on my mind. Everybody just calm down, relax, take a deep breath. Everything is going to work out just fine. I totally 100% believe that it's going to be one of the best WrestleManias ever booked. And you just had to believe that the story is all going to work out perfectly. The Rumble this year was about storytelling. For sure. The winners make sense in this form of story and what it's building towards within the future, within the next several months, all the way up until April. So just wait and let it all work out perfectly. Till then, stay safe. I'll see you all soon.